Welcome back to Haunted Cliffside, where Boulder and I play video games and rarely finish them. As you can see, we are playing Ōkami. Let's begin. Bright and beautiful cherry blossoms. Each and every tree around the quiet burg was honored as a god. However, the village was not without its dark secrets. To satiate the appetite of Orochi, a fearsome cave-dwelling beast, a young maiden was offered as a sacrifice at the annual festival. With a body like a mountain and 8 heads mounted on necks the size of tree trunks, its blood-red eyes alone were said to curse anyone who gazed on into them. No one dared disobey the horrific monster, beast, whatever. When the night of the sacrifice drew near, a mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village. This wolf, its coat as brilliant as snow, was dubbed Shiranui. The wolf kept on a watchful eye on anyone who ventured outside the village and made a habit of patrolling the streets at night. People assumed the wolf to be a familiar of Orochi. One villager took it upon himself to face the fearsome Shirani. I'm just gonna call him Sheen. The warrior Nagi attempted many times to challenge the wolf, but his attempts were thwarted by Shirani's swift movements. Shirani? Before long, the night of the Cursed Festival had arrived. The white plume arrow hayward the coming sacrifice. Piercing the sky, the arrow sunk into the shift squarely into the home of Nami, the village's most beautiful maiden. Nagi, harboring secret love for Nami, was enraged by this sign, determined to put an end to Orochi's once and for all. Nagi traveled to the beast's cave in place of his beloved. I'm not really a long reader. The Moon Cave, a place as dark and evil itself, serves as Orochi's home. As Nagi stood bravely before the entrance, a beast appeared, eyes glowing crimson upon red, thrashing heads. Orochi stood tall before him, anxious for another sacrifice. Nagi leapt with incredible grace, swinging his blade valiantly. On and on he sliced, well into the moonless night. But Orochi's hide was like steel. The blade left nearly a scratch. At long last, Nagi, his energy spent from the intense battle, dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for air. He knew he was staring death in the face. It was then that the wolf appeared. As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi. In the darkest of the caves, the wolf's coat shone brilliantly. Alas, it was Shoni, the wolf, that dwelled outside the village. Bearing its fearsome claws, Shoni leapt towards Orochi. Orochi reared its terrifying head, readying its fangs for battle. The two beasts struggled wildly, thrashing into the darkness. Mysteriously and terrifying, the spectacle continued. Shoni summoned gusts of divine winds to counter Orochi's flames. As Orochi closed in on Shoni, sharpened claws blazed. A ginormous tree appeared, sprouted forth, shielding the wolf. Shoni fought gallantly to gain the upper hand. However, Orochi, protected by a mysterious power, was not easily bested. Shoni, covered in gashes and magnificent forward-dyed crimson, stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow, but Shironi, I have no idea how to pronunciate that name. Shironi, I'm gonna say. Shironi refused to give up. With the last ounce of strength, the magnificent wolf gazed heavenward and unleashed a mighty howl. Suddenly, the black clouds overhead dissipated. The light from above glimmered off Nagi's sword at a beacon of hope. Guided by his sword, Nagi, who had been taking shelter in the shadows, stood proudly to face his adversary. Channeling all his strength into his scarred and battered arms, he leapt ferociously towards Orochi, his sword poised high. The golden sword dashed in his arms like a puppet on the string. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. I just love that dumb one right there. Orochi's broken body collapsed in the lake of its own blood. In that instant, the curse that plagued the villagers was lifted. As the battle subsided, the sun shone once again in the sky. Shononi had succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. Nagi scooped the beast into his arms and returned to Kamiki. When the villagers reached the village, Shironi was no longer moving. The village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shironi let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, then closed its eyes and drifted off as if into slumber. Peace had at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shironi's horrific exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue on the wolf within it. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi and placed inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace. However, this is not the end of the story. There is more to this tale than most people know. 100 years have passed since Nagini and Shironi's heroic exploits. It happened so quickly that no one in the village ever took notice. Is this a legendary sword? Is this Tasukami? Yeah, fucking sword. The sword that banished the dreadful Orochi? Hmm. No, it couldn't be. It's just a legend. Nothing but fairy tale. Hello. Well, that could have gone better. Oh, he who seeks power, he who has broken my bonds, speak the words, I wish darkness onto the world. Utter that prayer unto me and unleash my power. I think he's crapping his pants. Run, Forrest, run! This is a dumb one. Yeah, let's set fire to the land. You know who has to basically put that thing back in order now? Ooh, I like doing this. Oh. Horrific tragedies suddenly spread over the land. However, there was one village that seems to escape the terrible curse. That tiny settlement of Komiki village enjoyed the protection of the sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins. Regret. Wood spirit, Sakura. How terriblesome, troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom. What has transpired to bring about such calamity? We must act quickly. There is no time to lose. My power has diminished. Diminished. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area. I don't have much time left in this world. Amaterasu. 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 Now is the time. We have never needed your power more. Shine your divine light upon this broken and polluted world. Let your heavenly rays become our hope as you guide us all. Hello, Army. Ōkami Amaterasu, or Ami for short. Ah, such divine white light, such beauty and grace. The only one capable of such a wonderful spectacle is none other than our mother, and the origin of all this, Amaterasu. Or I'm just gonna call her Army because I am not going to say her name all the damn time. It's Army. How delightful to see that the Savior, whose brave sacrifice sealed away the evil demon so many years ago, has not changed one bit. Seeing you emerge after so many years spent as a statue brings happiness to my heart. Sniff. As we're bored and we just want to sleep. Army? Glaze above you and take in the condition of the sky. Since your untimely departure from our midst, the world has succumbed to devilish and fisherish beasts. They have ravaged our fine and bountiful country of Napa. But never have the circumstances been worse than they are at this very moment. Please use your power to banish the darkness and punish those who would do us harm. Hmm? Uh, what is this? Has something stolen its way into my robes? Ho ho ho. Ooh hee hee hee. Ah ha ha. Phew. What on earth? Oh, it's you again. Hmm. Ow, 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 ow! Are you nuts? Boy, for a little thing, you sure make a big fuss. I was just trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting, that's all. Were you napping in my clothes again, Bug? Bug, I told you 1,000 times not to call me that. I am a wandering artist. The name's Isan. Wandering artist Isan. I'll show you just how great I am, and it won't be long till you're bowing before my great brush. Well, what do you think? Even cuter than the real thing, no? The fuck? What's with you, Farball? You look kinda down in the dumps. Actually, you look kinda familiar. Got it. You look just like that statue of Shiruri. I'm gonna eat you now. You taste nasty. Whoa, what do you think you're doing? Are you crazy? A handsome guy like me should never be covered in wolf slobber. You'll regret messing with the great Isan. Don't make me use my prized sword. Denko Maru against you. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. What's that growling sound? And why is it so dark anyway? Oh, great God, Army. I used all the power I have to protect Kamiki Village. The village lives on. Their spirits lie encased in my fruit. Break it free, and the village will be reborn. I trust in you. I know that you will lead us down the right path. Only your awesome power can restore life to this world. The trees return to normal. Huh. That Sakura girl sure said some weird stuff. Sorry. The villagers' souls are being kept inside their fruit? That's a fruit. The girl said that. If you cut it down, the village will be restored. But it's awfully high up there. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it. This darkness is really getting to me too. A lot can happen while you're taking a nap. Alright, I'm in control of Army. Yay!